All right, so let's take a look at this video from Bret Weinstein's Should Social Media Allow Anonymous Users?
The opportunistic outsider that you're talking about is exactly who social media enables and why social media is so harmful. It gives a voice to this. That was a box that should not have been opened. That's interesting. That's emerging from our conversation in the first couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. Is somebody just like randomly making a comment that social media is like a Pandora's box and it empowers bad things? And I mean, I would kind of agree, but you know, you try and balance that against the things that you can get out of it: the easy access of information, the spread of global voices, access for people who are in, shitty revolutionary situations to be able to get the message out of what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. You know, how does it measure up? I don't know, but go ahead.
And it does. It not just enables, but it
empowers.
Empowers, yeah, and it such people win by staying within their own framework, and unfortunately by dragging us into theirs largely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had a battle amongst thinking people who are trying to imagine what good moderation on social media would look like.
Yeah.
And one of the key facets of that has been what to think about anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very interesting topic. I will say Bret has historically been one of those people who is very much against anybody getting booted from social media, and has pushed the concept that like only conservatives are ever banned from social media, which is weird. Because like they're like fucking the cat's cool. They're fucking like legit neo-Nazis, right? Like Nick Fuentes and shit. Well, he's not really a neo-Nazi. He's a groiper in denial about his own sexuality. But like he got unbanned, and I still have 3 of my Twitter accounts banned. One of which I still have the Twitter account where I got banned because I stood outside of Twitter HQ with a sign that said pee pee poo poo. I literally got my account banned because of that. Like I didn't do anything. It was a photo op. It was funny. The one time I've been in San Francisco, and I still haven't gotten that one back. But the cat boy lover, who hates Jews and denies the Holocaust, like he can come back. It's weird. Anyway, I don't know.
And I must say, initially, my sense as an evolutionary biologist is anonymity is new. It is wildly amplified in its power on social media. We would be better off without it. Now, I got a lot of pushback amongst people who correctly point out that there are lots of folks who are in a vulnerable position where anonymity is the only way for them to reveal what they know without harming their families, etc.
Sure.
I agree
Putting
with that.
their jobs at risk.
Yep. I also agree that there are historical examples in which anonymous publications have persuaded people usefully. So I think it's a trade-off, and I still think the net effect in the present is spectacularly negative.
So this isn't. I have to hand it to Bret. He does seem to have a nuanced position. Now, I'm going to make a prediction. I don't know if he's gonna fulfill this one way or the other. That this is largely because he doesn't like getting picked on by anonymous trolls. I think that's very likely where it's at, but I will see. I've got my own feelings on it as well,
But it's not a simple matter, and so anyway, there's various versions of pseudonymous structures that might free us from the worst.
And do any of them prevent the arbiter, like the holder of the information that verifies that this is a real person, from being the social media company itself?
Well, that's a great question. Presumably you could set up...
This is like digital Ambien. Holy shit. This is so dull. Oh my God. Can you imagine what it must be like when they try and dirty talk each other? Oh, I want you to lay back, and I'm going to slowly but surely insert my turgid rod into your quivering mouth. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. I don't need to be thinking about that, nor projecting it into your own heads. They love to intellectually jack off together. I know. This is their foreplay. This is absolutely their foreplay. Just reinforcing how right they are all the time. But anyway, go ahead.
Up a contracting system where just like your vendor may not know your credit card number because you've submitted it to Stripe or something.
Yes.
But the question is, okay, then how do you build one of those that you can trust?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's
how would that change anything?
A complex and thorny issue, and you've got to figure out exactly which problem you're trying to solve, right? Are you trying to just make sure people don't have multiple accounts? That's a big deal. Are you trying to make sure that each account is a real person? That's a big deal.
Why?
Are you trying to make sure that things are traceable back to an individual if they do something terrible, right? So some version of reputation.
But I mean, also the first one you came up with, multiple accounts, especially, I mean,
what the fuck?
This is both important and it feels so ridiculous to be talking about it at all, but it is important.
Okay,
and,
tell me, please. Give me some context as to why any of this actually matters. Because there are definitely things that do matter when it comes to like anonymous versus having to have a public face and accountability. But like, I'm not hearing anything. I mean, like, what is this? Worried about bots?
Like, I had never been on social media at all until Evergreen blew up, and I got an account, and then it became really clear that my same account without my middle initial was going to be grabbed by someone and was going to be, tagged as my account because it is my name, right?
Right.
So, I think your brother's suggestion actually, I got that account and just have one thing at the top of it that says this is me, but my real account is.
This is inane. Nothing about this has any intellectual value or like a pondership. Okay, I want to know why they think social media should or should not allow anonymous users. That's what I want to know. I want to look. Okay. Because I'm not going to torture you. I'm already tortured. 3.5 minutes, and it feels like I've been here for an hour.
I think it's a very low quality implementation. But the primary thing is sweeps away a huge fraction of the low quality bot many sock puppet architecture.
Who fucking cares about bots unless you're getting mad because your Twitter poll isn't going the way you want? Here, skipping ahead again. I'll keep petting the cat. Come on.
Account needs to have a unique credit card.
Feel it. It kitty.
Puts a tax on that behavior. It's certainly not beyond powerful entities to use it, but it removes a huge fraction of it, right?
He's itchy. Or she.
And
or they,
by the way,
whatever, I don't know.
do think it was not done well, and it should have been done differently, and it should be effectively at least that Twitter evaluates your humanness.
Okay, all right. This is so boring. Everything about Bret and Heather are like our personal grievances are why things have to change and be adapted because everything else is like unintellectual and blah, 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 blah. And it's always the most inane arguments that make no sense whatsoever. Cute cat. Other than the cat, you guys serve absolutely no value. Look, okay. Here, I'll give you the basic gist of how I feel about anonymity on the internet. And keep in mind, I'm somebody who has, like, in the past gotten flooded, and, like, people try and, like, ruin my life way back in the day for some controversies and shit like that. And that gave me a knee-jerk response of that, wouldn't the internet be a better place if everybody had to post their real name and their real face to everything that they say? And I felt that way. But when it's not personally aggrieving me, when I look at it objectively, I disagree. I think that there's a one or the other way about going about a social media platform, okay? And it's very simple. Number one, you do implement that you have to have your name and your face attached to everything you say, but no rules. You can say anything you want, post anything you want at all. Like, you can't be banned, but got to have your name and your face attached to it. Or the other one, which is what Twitter used to do before Elon just shit his pants all over the goddamn site, is you can be as anonymous as you want, but there is content moderation, and that is to have some semblance of like not really even necessarily control, but usability. Because there's this argument that was made by, and I wish I could remember who it was. They did a video essay on it, and it was very, very smart. They were like, if there's no such thing as any content moderation on a social media website, eventually the only people that will use that social media website are the worst of people. And it just isn't workable as a business or as a concept. The idea of freedom of speech is really important. It is. It absolutely is. But to the degree in which, like, you'll allow a platform that everybody uses be totally trash, so it's nothing but a bunch of zig-heiling people, posting guro and gore porn and shit. It's just not going to be very tenable. There's a reason why, like people in broader context of society don't all hang out on 4chan B or Poll or something like that. It's people that are wanting that content. And you will never have 4chan be that big, or it could even get to close to the level of, say, Twitter. So that's kind of like how it has to work. You either have to have moderation policies and allow everybody to maintain their anonymity, which I think is very valid, or have one where you can say anything, but you yourself will always have to be aware of the consequences of what you say. I think that is kind of like the grand equalizer of how those things have to work. Otherwise, it just keeps like it will always fall apart over and over and over and over again. It's just so crazy. So I don't know. It's I think that's probably like my best way of like putting together my thoughts on anonymity. I think it's important to be able to express yourself, but even you should be able to express yourself. You should be able to put yourself out there, your art or your statements, your words. But at the same time, then, like, if you want to maintain a platform where this is a good exchange of people communicating, there are rules that people probably should follow. Do I think that Twitter, even back before Elon, did a very good job of it? No, not really. Not really. How is Trump's social media app going? Well, Trump's social media app is just basically the same old shit because they have heavy moderation over there too. Like, super, super do. They all do. They all do. And when they start eroding, they just completely fall apart. But this video, I don't even know what this is supposed to be except a means to put people to sleep. And I am so irritated. This is why I don't bother with Bret's content. It's so dull. Ugh. At least we found something interesting to talk about during it.